ब्रैकफास्ट बस जो कि तुहानू अच्छी तरह पता है कि असी कोशिश करने हैं लोकल इवेंट्स के बारे च जानकारी देने दी। ब्रैम्पटन दे विच सब तो वड्डा इवेंट होया कि ब्रैम्पटन के मेयर जिहड़े ने सूजन फैनल उन्हां दा एनुअल गैला होया। दैट वाज अ वेरी ग्रैंड इवेंट जिहदे च पुलिस दे चीफ जिहड़े ने आउटगोइंग उन्हां नू सम्मानित किया गया। इस इवेंट की तुहानू कुछ ग्लिम्पसेस कुछ झलकियां दिखाने जा रहे हैं। एंजॉय दिस सेगमेंट।
Who is promising to tell us the story behind the man. Deputy.
Chief Metcalf, Mayor Fennell, ladies and gentlemen. When I agreed earlier this week to roast the chief for a few minutes, it seemed like a fun idea at the time. Now I'm not so sure which is more terrifying, standing here in front of all of you or wondering what's going to happen on Monday morning when I have to explain myself to the boss. Having just seen the video, you might be drawn to conclude that a career in policing was Mike's aspiration from a very young age. After all, how does one achieve as he did if it wasn't your dream? Well, maybe, maybe not. As a young man in the 1960s, the chief was a very talented golfer, so dreams of a professional golf career were not wildly unrealistic. He seemed to have all the skills, but those who play the game at a high level know that confidence is just as important as the physical part of the game. And confidence comes from winning. We managed to recover some old scorecards from Trafalgar Golf and Country Club, where Mike played as a junior. Yes, that does say Mike and Sandra, and yes, she wins. And Sandra is a 15-year-old girl. Now, Jack Nicklaus didn't win every time he played, but Chief, a girl? Even if she did play from the front tees, she's a girl. In fairness to the Chief, that Sandra is LPGA Hall of Famer and Canada's best ever professional female golfer, Sandra Post. And actually, about 3 years ago, Sandra confided to me that playing with the Chief in her junior days actually helped her become a major championship winner and LPGA Rookie of the Year in 1968. Many rookies struggle for a time on tour until they learn how to win. Sandra told me that wasn't a problem for her. Having played with the Chief so often, winning was old hat. But golf seemed like a lot of work anyway, and it really wasn't that glamorous. Maybe a rock star. His good friend, Gil Moore, played the drums and was putting together a band. And Mike could really play the triangle, practicing intensely in his high school music class. But he didn't have long hair, and he didn't seem to be able to jump around on the stage in time with the music, an important skill for the live performances. Gil had to say no. As it turned out, the drummer for the legendary Canadian rock trio Triumph was probably right. Somehow I don't see them as a chamber quartet with Mike Metcalf. Although disappointed, Mike wasn't ready to give up on a musical career. He just needed a group more in tune with his style.
Well, good evening. I just remind Deputy Chief Tetzlaff that I'm the last man at the mic tonight. Actually, you know, I have all kinds of prepared notes here, and I spend quite a bit of time doing them. And I will get to them, but I can boil this down to probably one sentence. I had the best time tonight that I think I've ever had at one of these things. I really have. I mean, from the reception to the social aspect of the reception, to the decor that was right down to the navy blue and red of every police department in Canada, to Paul McCartney's tunic with the Peel Regional Police crest on it from the band. I just thought it was a great night, and from my family, my immediate and my extended family, I truly thank you. I know the hour's late, and I think if I've learned anything 6 years from Chief is to be short, especially at this time of night. But I have to thank the Board of Directors, I think, for their selection. I think it was a wise choice, but I certainly do thank them for picking me as a recipient for the 2012. And it's quite an honor for me, I think, and you can probably appreciate the fact that when you look at who else has received this award in the past. Mr. Bill Davis, Ron Webb, who sat beside me tonight, Ted Rogers, Iggy and Dee Dee Caniff. I am in quite elite company, and I do appreciate that fact. And I'd also like to thank Susan, Mayor Fennell, for hosting your gala. The gala lives on as it should. Congratulations on that as well. And on behalf of the Safety Village, Mr. Emil Cole was in the crowd tonight. We have really taken a big interest in the Safety Village over the last couple of years. We put about 17,000 students through a year. They're grade 1, 3, and 5 students, and we teach them about road safety, traffic safety, bike safety, and how stranger awareness is probably one of the most important programs. But we've had a list for a number of years. We're putting an addition on now. We're trying to get 6,000 more students through a year to bring it up to 23,000. And hopefully in April or May of this year, we'll have that classroom completed. And the money that was donated tonight will go a long way to help us out. You know, I've always considered myself a very fortunate individual, both personally and professionally. On a personal note, I was born in Brampton. Go Mayor, born in Brampton. I was raised in Streetsville, Mayor McCallion, she's still sitting in the back here. And I was born into a good home with good loving parents that taught me respect for others in the law. And I'm fortunate enough to have my mother Betty here tonight. She's 89 years young on the 7th of March. And I wanted to publicly thank my mother for the guidance she offered me all those years ago when I needed it. I know I didn't appreciate it at the time, Mom, but I certainly do now. I did make my good decisions on my own. In the odd case, I did join the Mississauga Police Department, and that was the decision I made on my own. And I have no regrets, 41 years later after doing that. I could never see myself doing anything but serving the public, even in retrospect. Of course, joining the fire department was a pretty easy decision to say no. I never liked heights, and there's no way I was getting up in an aerial ladder, that's for sure. Getting married to my wife Barb was a good decision. We've been married 37 years now, May 7th. And just every day's been good for me. I'm really not sure how Barb feels about that, but you can ask her at the end of the show. But I certainly give Barb all the credit for creating a good home, and she raised 2 fine daughters that I'm extremely proud of, and I think you saw them both on the video. And Barb allowed me to pay attention to my career, but she also kept me well grounded and giving me that knowing look that I think every married man in this room has become accustomed to. You know, professionally and political, I receive support from many people. Mayor Fennell was one, and the list grows longer every day. You've already met Paul Tetzlaff. And Paul was pretty easy on me tonight, knowing the stories that I know, but it's a selective crowd. But Paul and I have a meeting on Monday morning. He knows he needs something in corporate services, and I guess that was the reason for his being easy on me tonight. But I do owe Paul a debt. You know, Paul's always given me good advice, and he's always been that calming influence in those most turbulent times. I couldn't really have asked for a better deputy chief than Paul Tetzlaff. You know, and there's another young man sitting out there that was involved in that conspiracy, the stories that Paul came up with, and that was Steve Asselin. Steve has always been an individual that could make me laugh at any time, no matter what the circumstances were, but we always got the work done. You know, and I think as any chief of police, you need assistance and help.
He looks so humble. Anybody that had chocolate handcuffs all throughout the evening. You know, he walked in here tonight, we were so proud of those jail areas. And he said, those are cells. To the rest of us, a cell is a phone. I have to tell you, a cell? Where's the cell? I couldn't see a cell anywhere. Honor guard, please.